Hello everyone, my name is Vincent. There are a few topics that are really interested in me. However, I picked it to work on the education system in Hong Kong as my inquiry-based project. In this project, I will talk about the pros and cons of learning system, introduction of every grade and class, and the dress code for student. As we know, Hong Kong, is like Canada, was a British colony for a very long time. Within the large economic growth, math major has become a huge competition for every student to get into. For the education system in Hong Kong, there are 3 years in kindergarten, then 6 years for primary education, 3 years for junior secondary education, and 3 years for senior secondary education. In this project, I developed a few questions that are most important and interesting to me. First, are the pressure of students come from the conduct scores? Second, what is the difference between rote learning and meaningful learning, and which is more important? Then the last question, how have the dress code transformed? Is it good or bad? The education system in Hong Kong is of high quality. Both public and private school will be followed, but the tuition fees of private school are much higher than public school. According to research, the total cost of studying in public school in Hong Kong should not exceed 500 Hong Kong dollars per year. If parents want their children to attend private school, they will face a different fees. The annual cost of private school is about 40,000 Hong Kong dollars. When the student graduates from a public elementary school, he will be assigned to a certain middle school. But if your children is enrolled in a private school, he can apply to the middle school he wants and does not need to be randomly assigned. In addition to the difference in fees, the school will also enroll students with better grades in order of grade. In the next few slides, I will talk about the background to the inquiry for kindergarten, primary school, and high school. First of all, kindergarten usually start at age 3 or 6, but it is not mandatory. Parents can choose whether they want their children to attend on a full day or half day basis. The curricula in kindergarten are more focused on socially aware, cultivate good habit, and be curious about their surrounding. Teachers are taught through active involvement, play, and encouragement in every subject. An example I found from the internet, from a kindergarten school, at the beginning of the class, they will play a song about numbers to get students to be warm up in the morning. I personally really love the ideas of singing at the beginning of the class because it helped to warm up the classroom and get every student to be active. Second, for primary school, all the primary school runs on the morning, afternoon, or whole day schedule. The reason for customizing the morning and afternoon timetable is to be able to have enough place for students to learn, so as to avoid overcrowding in the school. In terms of secondary school, education is divided into two parts, junior high school and high school. Both need to maintain for 3 years and junior high school is mandatory. The choice of high school depends on student choice. Secondary, Senior secondary education in Hong Kong mainly focus on four core subjects: Chinese, English, math, and liberal studies. In addition, students have to choose another free subject provided by the school, for example, history, biology, or business management. At the end, at the end of 3 years, students will take a final exam. The exam is divided into different stages, including writing and oral exam, to assess student ability in writing and oral skills. After passing the exam, they will get the Hong Kong Diploma of Secondary Education exam to help them enter the higher education stage, for example, the university. In this slide, I'll talk about my first inquiry questions. Are the pressure of students come from the conduct scores? The school allows the conduct resource of each student at the end of the first semester and the end of next semester of each academic year. The conduct scores of each student are calculated based on the conduct points. The student's conduct is basically divided into 50 points. In the middle of the semester, The school will increase or decrease the basic conduct of student based on their classroom performance, academic performance, grooming performance, service performance, and the school conduct performance. At the end of the semester, based on the conduct scores, to assess the student conduct level. One of my classmates always said he was a street smart, but not book smart. However, he was one of the most popular students from our class because of how nicely he treats everyone. He did not like schooling at all, and I remember he once said, "School is not for everyone. I think the education just gives the basic knowledge on how to live, which I can learn from outside of the school." And I started to realize the reason why school was not a good place for him is that he did not like the restriction it placed on him. I think if the system in Hong Kong is not restricting, maybe students like him would be happier going to school. Second questions. What is the difference between rote learning and meaningful learning, and which is more important? For the learning methods, Hong Kong appears to be much more to rote learning. The learning methods of rote learning can only focus on the meaning of the learning material itself, which is different from Western teaching. Western teaching focus on actively participate in the classroom activity and understand the meaningful of them. Memorization can help students improve their memories, but it is also really important for teacher to help students and to make sure they're active engaged, not just by asking them to memorize something that they don't even know how to solve on their own. Last questions. How have the Just Code transformed? Is it good or bad? One thing I believe need to be preserved in the school system is the dress code for students. First, everyone is equal in what they wear, which help reduce social conflict as students are not so heavy built based on what they are wearing. The dress code also helped the social economic concern. Students are not judged by based on the brand or quality of clothing they wear. The reason for a dress code is that school essentially prepare youth for professional work, and dress code may initiate a serious environment. The pro of having uniform includes students tend to experience less pressure and time in deciding what to wear, therefore attendance is improved. Uniform promote a more studio environment. Students tended to concentrate more on their lessons and enhance school and community pride. As a teacher at any school, the most important role is to ensure you create a positive and safe learning environment for your student. However, you have to be aware of the dress code in your school and prepare to discuss it with your student. It is very important that your students are informed and know what is expected of them. The beginning of the school year is a great time to educate the student as a whole on this topic so that it is direct to all students rather than singling specific one out over the course of the year. If there is any problem with one student and their attire, make a mental note to talk to them in private when you have a couple minutes to avoid embarrassing them and to avoid taking learning time away from everybody. The school administration will make the final judgment as to whether or not student attire is appropriate. So if you are ever unsure of a situation, you can ask for further advice. In this slide, the reason why I'm picking this topic because in the future I would like to do my internship and teaching in Hong Kong. This inquiry-based project can help me to learn more about Hong Kong education system and the need of students. I want to bring in the Western teaching that I learned here to Hong Kong because I really hope the student will no longer taught in a way that has to do all the memorization and starting to learn from different kind of strategy. For example, the hands-on minds-on activities. These learning methods can help students understand the in-depth in-depth structure of the subject rather than just the superficial meaning. And this is my reference page. Thanks for listening, everyone. Thank you.